Hey guys, sorry for the late start. I'm just so out of it today, but let's finish what we started on Friday and let's get into it. Let's start with our first clip. Let's go.
Is being investigated under the Espionage Act, which carries a penalty of life in prison.
Joe Biden trying to make weed legal, trying to remove all the federal penalties for shit. Donald Trump being investigated for espionage. Yeah, it look like it's going up.
Okay, so Donald Trump's lawyer, Christina Bobb, met with the FBI, and she threw Evan Corcoran right under the bus. She said he was the one that lied about the certification she made regarding the Mar-a-Lago documents. So she made a disclaimer saying that this is, as far as I know, to be the truth. And that's what she told the FBI. That's why she signed it. She literally signed it, people. She signed a document saying that Donald Trump had turned over all classified documentation the first time we had to pull 15 boxes of classified information from him. Then we find out he's got fucking more. And we had to get him back again. And now we find out he's got even more. But she signed a piece of paper saying that Donald Trump had returned everything. She made a disclaimer, though, saying that she has not independently verified that everything's been turned over to cover her ass. And she threw Evan Corcoran under the bus. This is great. And the girls are fighting, and I love this for them. The tea's gonna be good. Have a good day.
And once again, this is why you never volunteer to make bail for a friend. Catch the reference, people. It's not.
Did you know if you're 16 or older, there's a 60% chance that you've already met the person you'll marry one day? Hello, and here's some facts you never knew. The doctor who discovered that hand washing prevented the spread of disease was thrown in a mental institution for his crazy ideas. Eating strawberries helps to improve vision and can reduce cancer risk. According to scientists, men who grow beards easily and earlier in life have found to be more likely to go bald. You can legally smash someone's car window to save a pet from overheating in Florida. Wearing skinny jeans can cause nerve damage in your legs, a condition called tingling thigh syndrome. No response is a response, and it's a powerful one. Remember that. Breathing the air in Beijing has the same health risks as smoking 21 cigarettes a day. The male brain is 10% bigger than the female's, but the female brain works more efficiently. Octopuses have copper-based blood instead of iron-based blood, which is why their blood is blue rather than red.
But did you catch how it's okay to smash a window to save a dog? But if somebody leaves their child in the car and you smash a window, anywho, we still have a blind react left over from Friday.
Would I be the asshole for only getting Christmas gifts for myself this year? So, I'm the black sheep of the family. I'm the weird one who everyone doesn't get, and every Christmas I hate it because I always feel left out. My family has a habit of getting me gifts that they like or just random shit. They will buy me clothes that I would never wear, knowing that I never dress like that, all because they think I should dress that way. They put maximum effort into gifts that they get each other, and I always feel like an afterthought. Mind you, it's not about the gifts. I don't care about that. What I care about is how they don't even care to take the time to try and actually think about the things I care about the way they do for each other and the way I do for them. Last Christmas, one of my aunts spent a crap ton of money buying the most luxurious gifts for each member of the family. She made a big show of it. Lots of applauses and presentations. You know what she got me? A Harry Potter keychain. Because she couldn't think of anything, as she told me in her own words. And guess what? Of all the gifts, it was the most thoughtful. I was so embarrassed and yet impressed that this one keychain was the most thoughtful gift. This year, I am planning on buying myself all the shit I like, wrapping it up, putting it under the tree, and opening it for myself. I am not planning on getting them gifts and explicitly telling them not to get me anything. I will not be participating in our annual Secret Santa, and if they decide to go on vacation, I will remain at home. I just don't want to keep feeling left out. I don't want to feel as if I'm an obligation. So I am taking myself out of the narrative. But at the same time, I feel as if this would be wrong.
It's not wrong. It is not wrong. I've been there. They can put in the time, effort, energy, 364 days of the year to be nosy and be all up in your business and call people and tell people as if they all up in your business. But when it comes to your birthday or Christmas, all of a sudden they don't know what to get you. They don't know what you like. And they'll come up with rituals and different things for each other. And they'll have long conversations with each other to make sure that they get it right. But then when it comes to you, bupkis. 1 year, no lie, 1 year for Christmas, and this was the Christmas that made me give up on folks. Now, you know how you see the little commercials that, oh, this year for Christmas, if you buy X amount of this product, you get this for free. I got the pad of paper. And the motherfucker who gave me the pad of paper owed me money from when I was 16. So no, you're not. Don't feel bad. But let's get into this. Let's update ourselves on the ultimate contested coalition member, Candace Owens. Here we go.
Sources close to Kanye are shedding more light on his relationship with Candace Owens. They're telling TMZ that Candace is acting as Kanye's chief advisor in his day-to-day life, and that they didn't just wear their White Lives Matter shirts on a whim. They were planning on doing this for weeks. The sources continue to say that Candace has been reaching out to people on Kanye's behalf, setting up calls, meetings, and appearances. But people who were close to Kanye and who have distanced themselves recently believe that he's in a bad space mentally, and anyone who's working to get him to do anything other than get help does not have his best interests at heart. Ye showed up to Candace's film premiere yesterday in Nashville, and sources say it's unclear whether Kanye is paying Candace as an advisor. The sources tell TMZ anyone taking money from him is taking advantage of him, and that Candace is gonna run Kanye into the ground. As far as the voicemail that Candace leaked where Kim Kardashian is yelling at Ray J for dating Whitney Houston, they say she did it to show her allegiance to Kanye. The TMZ article continues to say one of the reasons Kanye's former allies believe Candace is in his ear, until recently he was conciliatory with Kim, seemingly agreeing she would have the kids around 80% of the time and he would have ongoing involvement in the...
Yeah, I'm going to stop you right there. He has yet to be conciliatory with Kim Kardashian. When Kim Kardashian stopped letting Kanye control her life, everybody started making excuses for Kanye. Kanye is not having a mental episode and this is what he's doing. No, having mental health issues does not make you a problematic person. It does not make you spew hate. It does not make you do and say the things that he is doing and has been doing. Kanye has always been toxic. Kanye has always been problematic. It's just when he brings it to the forefront of the public, people like to give the excuse, especially for Black people. And Black men, oh, she going through something. He going through something. It's just mental health. Stop demonizing mental health and then simultaneously telling people to get help for mental health. This is why people won't admit that they have mental health issues. This is why so many Black men, especially, will not go and get help for their mental health issues. This is why so many men, period, will not go and get help for their mental health issues, because you demonize it. So in their mind, they are defective. They are destructive, which they are when things don't go treated. They become problematic and they see themselves as, wait a minute, I don't spew things that I don't mean. That's the thing. He's showing you who he's always been. You just don't want to accept it. Y'all never want to accept who somebody actually is. That's why you sit back and either wait for somebody else to demonize them or you allow them to become problematic. You don't want to accept who people are. When somebody seems too nice to you, you sit back and wait for somebody to create a scandal behind their name to go, yep, I knew she was a mean girl. I knew he was a narcissist. Because you can't believe that there are just genuinely good people out there. And then when somebody is a piece of shit, but you like their art, you wait for somebody to... Well, let's go on with Candace. Here we go.
Black freshman college teen hangs out Candace Owens to dry. Candace Owens replied, she said, LMFAO. I just watched this and it made entirely no sense.
Black Lives Matter would actually mean in a minute after I let you get up real quick. It would mean taking a look at the real problem that is happening, which is our culture, a celebration of perversity pitched to us as if it's diversity. It's not. It is not diversity that we are celebrating. It is perversity. You said the same thing twice, and both times it meant less than nothing. One, where does culture come from, Candace? Tell me where. If you're trying to make the argument that Black people are just genetically predisposed to have a bad culture, Please do, and you'll get blown the fuck out of the water. But if I'm gonna be charitable to you and assume you're not making that argument, you have to acknowledge that culture comes from environment. And I wonder if there's a connection between the environment in which black people in America were placed in and the outcomes in their culture and socioeconomic status. See, the difference with me is I don't just say shit, I back it up. Here's a study on racism and the effects of the mental health of black people, reviewing the evidence that points to a myriad of ways that racism can have a negative impact on black people. Oh, but it gets worse for you. Let's run back what you just showed in your video.
I can watch
Taking
this.
a look
I watched
at the real
this so many
problem that is
times.
happening, which is our culture.
Listen.
Please tell me how the fuck a BLM protest is the real problem happening.
Every argument that he made was contextualized with studies, research, metaphors, analogies. He even had a couple references in there contemporarily for you about dishwashers and dishes. And you still had the nerve to say it entirely made no sense. And what's funny is, I know if you've seen this video, Candace, then you definitely saw this one because I posted this video, you feel me, in the same thread you commented in way after that one. So I feel like you should really respond to both of these videos right here because your classmate, man, maybe it's asking for too much. But you did say you would respond to Jay Will. And listen, as somebody with a nice policy debate background, me and millions of people, we waiting on you to respond. And please respond with some peer-edited journals and not just conspiracy theories about his sources and about left-wing. We don't want to hear that, Candace. We want you to have point-for-point refutation. When we call that in debate, he line by lined you, and he also had impact. So for you to respond, we need impact calculus, and we also need for you to also line-by-line responses. Looking forward to that rebuttal, Candy. Holla at you. Education is elevation.
Now, during my time on TikTok, I have been able to watch JJ dismantle so many people. Much respect for him. Before he entered college. And her going, oh, that made no sense. She's not talking to those of us with critical thinking skills. She's talking to the base that she's been grifting for years. Y'all heard me. If you go to my blog, it's the second blog down. I addressed her also. But she's talking to the uneducated masses. Because it's easier to grift the uneducated and tell them what they want to hear. And spew things with no context, no anything to back it up. You can say anything. I promise you, if I put out a video and hashtagged it with all the hashtags that they follow, that they just blindly click on, I'd be their hero in 30 seconds by spewing absolute positive nonsense. All you gotta do is stroke their ego. It's no different than how a lot of women were raised to get over on men. Yeah, you heard me. But let's keep going with our updates. Let's go.
Perhaps the most damning evidence against Courtney is an elevator surveillance video captured a couple of months before Christian's death. The video starts and we see Courtney step onto the elevator and starts aggressively hitting the buttons on the touchscreen control panel. Then Christian steps on and Courtney takes out her aggression on him. The doors finally open and Christian walks out, Courtney hot on his trail. Was it self-defense or cold-blooded murder? Courtney Clenny was a successful X-rated OnlyFans model. Her boyfriend, Christian Obumseli, traded crypto. She's currently sitting in a Miami jail charged with second-degree murder. He's dead. In the end, Christian died in the hospital on April 3rd, 2022, with a stab wound in his upper right torso. Meanwhile, Courtney stayed behind in their luxury Miami apartment, wearing nothing but a thin black bra and gray sweatpants covered head to toe in Christian's blood. After his death, dozens of friends and former neighbors came forward, revealing stories about their toxic relationship. Stories that paint her as the abuser and him as the victim. Miami courts are holding her without bail as she awaits the next steps in her murder trial.
How's that preference now? Because I could have swore black women were the problematic ones. I thought black women were going to be the detriment and the demise. And I thought rich, tall, dark, and handsome was the way to go. That was your savior. But see, y'all find out how folks really feel about y'all way too late. And you expect the rest of us to come and fight for you. It ain't about to happen. But let's go on about the Oath Keepers. Here we go.
That's very lethal. It's a better tool than anything we do to them when we shoot them will be lethal. The goal is not to kill them, the goal is to incapacitate to end the threat. Now, where do we shoot people? Where? Center mass? Alright, good. So, the way I want you to think about it, center mass is often said, but the way I want you to think about it is high thoracic cavity. Everyone feel your collarbone in that center. You see how it dips out? Now form a fist right there. You see how my fist is right below the collar line on my t-shirt? I didn't draw circles on here or anything. I want you to look at the bottom collar line. You'll be shooting bottom of the collar line, okay? Basic thing, if you just aim at the collar at close distance, the rounds will impact lower because we have height over bore. We have a sight of an offset.
They hold rallies and actual training camps on how to eliminate us. But y'all keep, in real life and on social media, coming to us telling us that we're the violent ones. That you're the ones that have to, watch. That we are what goes bump in the night. That racism is dead. But pre-January 6th, this is what these people were doing. Okay. Trump is still going berserk on Truth Social. Let's talk about it.
My friends, Trump has written a 14-page letter to the Unselect Committee. There is so much in this letter, including pictures of his inauguration with the crowd. I'm not sure what the significance is there, but it's there. And he's talking about, of course, the crime of the century, which is the 2020 election fraud that he is still going on about. And let me find you some quotes. So he says, a majority of the people in the United States say that the 2020 election was determinatively dishonest. Determinatively dishonest? Determinatively dishonest? I just think that's an interesting phrase, don't you? I received many millions more votes. That's what he said, many millions more votes in 2020 than I did in 2016. Unheard of in our political history. So some of the pictures that he's added to his 14-page document are also of the crowd, the peaceful crowd at the January 6th Insurrection Day. And he says in the letter that why isn't anyone talking about how big the crowd is? He actually says the Unselect Committee is not talking about how big the crowd was. Bigger than any crowd ever. I mean, this guy, this man, he's saying that there were not enough pictures that showed the enormity of the crowd and that they've been scrubbed and banned. And it's just, I mean, mental health issues, massive. And the narcissism, it's absolutely crazy. And of course, he goes on and on and on about the troops and how he called the troops and how Nancy Pelosi canceled the troops. I mean, it's, again, grasping at straws, completely pathetic. He's running scared, he's terrified, and he's fucked. But wait, there's more. At the end of the letter, after all the pictures and everything, he goes on about Hunter Biden's laptop. He goes on about Hunter Biden's laptop. And then he goes through all the states, Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, all the states that he lost. And he goes through all the statutes and all the numbers of votes and all the vote numbers that were fraudulent. And it's just pathetic. Oh my God. I wish I could PDF this and have it in the comments, but I don't think I can. It's, oh my God. Ah!
See, everybody thinks that No Child Left Behind participation trophy mentality is something new. No, they just finally decided to make it widespread. This is something that the one percenters have been doing since they stepped foot on this stolen land. See, it was cute and it was a joke. When you watched Nicole Richie and Paris Hilton on a reality TV show display the same behavior. It was cute and laughable when you watch the Kardashians display this behavior. Get what I'm putting down? You've accepted this behavior so long. But all right, let's get into the next video.
Accountable. One thing I have not done, I've never pretended to be a police officer, and I've never threatened a shootout with the police.
Well, and now I have to respond to that.
We are moving on,
I
gentlemen.
have to respond to that. And you know what's so funny? I am with many police officers, and at the same time,
Mr. Walker, Mr. Walker, Mr. Walker, Mr. Walker, excuse me, Mr. Walker. Please, out of respect, I need to let you know, Mr. Walker, you are very well aware of the rules tonight.
Since we already went through this the other night, he believes what he says. He believes what he says.
Police say they caught the serial killer in Stockton, California. The accused man is a 43-year-old black man named Wesley Brownlee. Police said this: "Our surveillance team followed this person while he was driving. We watched his patterns and determined early this morning he was on a mission to kill. He was out hunting." Police say he was caught around 2 a.m. today wearing a dark clothing with a mask around his neck and armed with a gun.
There's nothing I can say that will keep me from a community guidelines violation regarding this. So let's go on.
Did y'all see the video of Senator Ron Johnson saying the loud part out loud? Check this out.
And my ranking member would always be bringing up white supremacy, which, I condone. I mean, I condemn. But.
Whew.
From the chapter of the Groundhog Day of History entitled "We Knew That," that's where that came from. And as always, make sure you check out the links that are within the description of this video. Make sure you share this with people, like this channel, subscribe, and hit the bell so that you are updated on all of the broadcasts. Let's go to the next video.
Have you ever seen the news broadcast that will play when the world's ending? What? Okay, so back in 1980, when CNN was created, the founder of CNN said that CNN will never stop broadcasting, and if they do, it will be because the world is ending.
That's not scary at all.
Yeah, so what he did was he created a broadcast that will only play if the world's ending. And on that broadcast, it's a video of a band playing the song "Near My God to Thee," which is literally the same song that was played on the Titanic before it sank, according to all the survivors of the Titanic. This wasn't even supposed to be leaked. It was leaked by CNN. They were supposed to keep this to themselves.
Now, I remember this leak, and there are a lot of people who are not right-wing conservatives that started building their own bunkers and supplying it with them. And excuse me, a lot of them, when it came out that you could get up-to-date alerts from CNN, started doing this. And my personal theory on this is that someone at CNN leaked this on purpose, because a lot of people don't know the history of the Titanic. They would see this and go, "Oh, this is annoying," and just change the channel or go to bed or do whatever and have zero idea as to what's going on. And for the determination of the world ending, it could be a plethora of things. There are things that could plausibly happen within our near future that could be viewed as the end of the world. So, but let's keep these videos rolling.
If you know these 7 movies, you are very old.
Stack banana till the morning come. Daylight come and me one go home. Oh, Sandy, baby.
So now mid-20s to mid-40s is considered old as hell. Yep. Mm-hmm. Gen Zers and younger millennials, y'all stop holding on to high school so hard. Let's go.
What is worth more?
Now, when I saw this, I chuckled. There were so many people so outraged at first online, and I just sat back and I chuckled. Then it came out that this protest was funded by a millionaire that really does have some issues with climate change. And I was like, this is what happens when you leave white people in charge of a protest. It's about centering themselves, not the problem. This is why they can't invoke change. This is why they're just stuck. And this is why they cry out to BIPOC women to come through and save them. Because that was some bullshit. That had zero meaning. And if you know how galleries work and how they operate, baby, you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. You were just a minor inconvenience that day. They have had worse happen that just was not caught on camera. But let's keep going. Of course, any crime against Black people, especially Black women or women of color, nobody's going to give a damn. Of course, they're going to look at it as unfounded. They're not going to put any energy or effort into us. That's why only 2% of their crimes are solved. Plus, they're generally the criminal. But this is why we have apps now, like the Ebony Alert apps. This is why we have movements like MMIW. This is why. We know that we have to look out for and protect our own. We know that we have to look for our own. We know that we have to solve our own cases and work diligently in order to get our own justice. But y'all keep acting like this is some big old equitable cornucopia. It is not. Let's keep it moving.
I'm the baby of 10 comedians. So you have to understand, I'm the butt of every joke.
Yeah.
So
that was my life.
Every sister almost killed me in some way.
Okay, no. Wait, what? No.
My sister Devon, I accidentally ate a vitamin E pill, and she said, Marlon, you're gonna die. I said, what? She goes, so the only way you can fix it, you gotta drink 9 glasses of cold water, 8 glasses of warm water, and 6 glasses of hot water. Girl, I almost drowned.
Okay, that was a little more intense. One of my siblings gave me chocolate-covered dog food and said it was candy.
That's not bad.
Honestly?
Why invite us on anything? Y'all center yourselves in everything. But let's keep going, because I know y'all gonna be like, but you didn't catch the joke. She didn't catch the joke either. She specifically asked this man a question and kept interrupting him to center herself. But y'all love it.
Like Mrs. Puff isn't even Mrs. Puff. That's why she says,
I'll have to move to a new city, start a new boarding school with a new name. No, not again.
and then there's another episode where there's a newspaper, and on it, it says, deranged boat teacher makes a getaway. Damn. Which is the weirdest shit ever, bro.
It always amazes me that people are just now figuring out that SpongeBob was never seemingly written for children. And that there's a lot of fucked up shit and a lot of the cartoons that were on Nickelodeon. And for all the people for so long that have made fun of adults that ride and for some of these cartoons and buy the merch that goes along with these cartoons, it's giving me Felix the Cat all over again. If you know, you know.
Oh, the girls are fighting. Oh my God. What I'm about to show you is Roger Stone losing his shit when Donald Trump wouldn't give him a second pardon for the fallout for January 6th. He was losing his fucking mind. And you know he was talking about Trump. Wait till the end.
Jared Kushner has an IQ of 70. He's coming to Miami. We will eject him from Miami very quickly. He'll evade very quickly. He has 100 security guards. I'll have 5,000 security guards. You want to fight? Let's fight. Fuck you. Fuck you and your abortionist bitch daughter.
Oh my God. Oh, the fallout from this is gonna be what? Glorious.
First of all, you should have known you weren't going to get two pardons. You knew what you were cooking up for Trump, and you knew that he would listen to you and follow you hook, line, and sinker. You should have asked for everything in the first time, because you know he lives his life as if he's a mafia don. So he was going to ensure, and he has ensured, that if he goes down, you go down also. He's going to blame you. You will be the reason why he admits that he's stupid. He would rather, in the end, admit that he was a puppet to you or Putin than go to prison. And if it comes down to Ivanka being threatened with jail time or prison time, he's going to throw himself on the sword. But before he throws himself on the sword, he's going to throw you on top of it as a buffer. You should have known that. You did your research in everything else that is Trump. But you missed that. You missed that mark. That blazing saddle mark. So badly. But let's keep going.
So 2 months ago, I added millions of sea monkey eggs into water. And
a fun fact, the dude who invented sea monkeys, Harold von Braunhunt or whatever, is actually a racist piece of shit. Dude was a whole ass Klan member. He would go to the meetings, burn crosses, all that. Most ironic part is the guy was Jewish. His real name is just Harold Braunhunt. He added the von later in his life to make his name sound more German. Also donated some of the money that he made off of his baton whip invention to the founder of Aryan Nation. Also on the original packaging, it says that the sea monkeys are eager to please and they can be trained. False advertisement like a motherfucker. Can you imagine how upset a bunch of kids were when they ended up getting brine shrimp and not sea monkeys? But hey, on the brighter side of things, in 1991, 44 sea monkeys were put on board of the space shuttle Atlantis, becoming the first animals to be born in outer space. Speaking of NASA, did you know that after World War II, America secretly brought over Nazi scientists to work with them? One of them being the racist piece of shit that actually founded NASA. This is America.
If you're shocked by this, I don't know what to tell you. But I will say, growing up, like, there were so many people, so many kids that were so obsessed with this. And I never had any desire to have sea monkeys. I didn't see the point. It's like I never had the desire to have a chia pet. Now, as an adult, some adaptations of the chia pet, because it's like they allowed some of these things to grow up with the original base that they were going for. I was like, oh, that would be pretty cool to, get this. But then I'm like, That's a whole lot of BS for a herb garden. That's a whole lot of, but I do enjoy other people who enjoy these things. But my question is, why keep selling them? And why do y'all keep buying them? Like when they first came out, I get it. It's new. You have false advertisement, but at this point, you buying it to take over ecosystems? And you wonder why we have an issue with. Never mind. Let's go to the next one.
So I'm going to read you something, okay? And stay with me. I'm going to read it to you. In 2018, his political manifesto, which has since been taken down, we need to switch to a system that classifies women as property, initially of their fathers and later of their husbands. We need to restore benevolent white supremacy. He called Adolphia Hitlina white supremacist hero. It was unfair for incels or involuntary celibates to be forced to pay taxes for schools, wherefore, and other support for other men's children. So that's that. As you can see now, this was a political person. Ran for office in Virginia. His political platform was anti-feminist, wanted to legalize child porn, wanted to abolish the Child Protective Services Department, discourage women to go to the college. He also wanted to legalize incestuous marriage, High Prager, just recently, repeal the 19th Amendment, which allows the women's right to vote. Now, I'm not saying he deserves it, but God's timing is always right. But doesn't his platform look suspiciously like the Republican platform of today? Yeah.
Now, incestuous marriage, but okay with incestuous relations because you want to abolish child protective services. You want to normalize child porn. So you want to do everything to everybody in your family, but marry them. And then you don't want to pay for another man's child. So you're okay with every child being stupid because, they never think of the collective. And by this, I mean, they never think of, okay, you're content with the doctors, lawyers, teachers, scientists that you have right now as if they're going to be immortal. Like, who is supposed to come in and tag in and take the reins? See, that's the thing. They're okay with the status of society that's around them. They never think beyond that. And then they'll tell you they want the best for their children while creating and setting up a world that's gonna make Mad Max look like a utopia. That's going to make Resident Evil and The Walking Dead look like a spa day. But see, that's privilege for you. You don't have to think about tomorrow because you believe that your privilege and your money and your nepotism and your connections will keep you so in the know and so powerful forever. It's so protected. But see, if you don't replenish those that are currently protecting you on those levels, who's left? Because who's giving you that protection right now? Baby, their foot is 2 centimeters away from the box that Lizzie's chilling in right now. But let's keep going.
Oh, you guys, do you want some tea? Do you want some tea? The guy who helped Donald Trump create Truth Social was named as Will Wilkinson. He's now working with the SEC regarding violations of security laws. Trump pressured executives to give their shares to his wife. And there are tapes. When the reporter on this case sent Trump media questions about it, they fired Wilkinson the next day. In one of the emails, Trump media co-founder Andy Linsky, who was an Apprentice contestant, said that Trump repeatedly demanded he give his equity to Melania. He's cooperating with the DOJ in regards to violation of securities law. Oh my God. Oh my.
My question is, what does Melania have over Trump? Because he is working overtime to not only line her pockets, but to protect her. And we know she don't like him. We know that while she was delayed in moving into the White House is because she used that to renegotiate her prenup. He was never to become president. See, this was supposed to be just a stunt. But wild, extremely problematic racists with a whole lot of phobes and isms in their background as well got him into office. And see, the kid who had been window shopping popularity his whole life finally got the popularity and power that he had infantilized. And this is the end result. But see, when people have sat back and watched how you move, oh, they'll use you and everyone else. Do not think that because publicly they go along with your shenanigans, they agree with you. No, they will use you and the public to get ahead, to save their own neck. See, that's critical thinking allows you to see that. This next one is a longer one, but let's get it.
Okay, this is a wild video from St. Paul, Minnesota. The story behind the video is that a good Samaritan came to the aid of a shooting victim and stopped him from bleeding out. And the police department of St. Paul gave this man an award, and he had some pretty choice words for the boys in blue. You got to check this out.
It is my great pleasure to present you with the Chiefs Award for Valor in recognition for your heroic efforts. Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations. I'd like to give you an opportunity to say a few words.
Yeah. I appreciate it. I feel like I did what anyone would have done with the little bit of training that I have. I'm a certified firearms instructor. I work in this high school in Minneapolis. I'm a dad and a husband and a wonderful community member. That day, 9 of your squad cars raced past us as I was flagging them down. It said in the letter you sent me. And that was a potential of 18 people. 18 people could have stopped to help preserve life. But 18 people chose to go to a potential threat. And I recognized the man had a pistol and we didn't know what he was doing. I do appreciate the recognition, but I won't keep this stuff. This will go to my mom, and this will probably go to my son, because I'm very uncomfortable being here with you guys. I do not rock with the police, but I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to say these things, and I just want folks to know that they don't keep us safe. We keep us safe. Riots work. Thank you. Appreciate you.
If giving me a mic in front of the police department were a person, oh, he is the person. It's about time somebody said it, because I've been saying this for years. Because not only do they hold ceremonies for just regular schmegular people like me and you, they hold these type of ceremonies for their own. Let me say that again. What other profession can you get into that when you do your job to the point that you are supposed to the letter of your job description, they throw you and invite the media to an award ceremony? See, the police are the originators of the participation trophy. Let's make a big deal about somebody actually doing what we tell the public we supposed to do. And the public eats it up every damn time. Every damn time. And every time in the past, I've spoken up about this. Like, this is ridiculous. People come down on me like, well, they risked their life. They signed up to risk their lives. Guess who else risked their lives? People in the medical profession. When they do their jobs, they are not given special coverage on the news, special ceremonies, special awards, because that's the job description they signed up to get into. But let's carry on.
Everywhere I go across Wisconsin, from Kenosha to Superior, from La Crosse to Sheboygan, Fond du Lac, Wausau, everywhere in between, I hear about the help wanted signs that are out. We need more workers. Farmers are telling me about it. Manufacturing companies are telling me about it. I have two solutions. Number one, we're going to get people off of their couches and get them back to work. We created an entire class of lazy people during COVID, and it's
You mean the same lazy people that y'all yell at every day because your french fries aren't hot enough, but you went back and forth with them when they were asking you if you wanted french fries, and the french fries were sitting in front of you, and that's why they're cold? You mean the same people who are struggling because you allow certain governors in this country to hold up things, because you allow certain companies within this country to pretend like there was a supply chain issue? You mean the same people who have had their rent tripled, doubled and tripled because of the toxicity of capitalism and how much you all have vilified socialism, but then with socialist programs are voted through from your constituents on the left, you take credit for it and then tell people it's okay then when you know that your constituents need the help? You mean the same people who lost their whole businesses because y'all were too busy trying to bail out the rich that never needed a bailout? You mean the same employees that were left without their decent paying jobs, because nothing is really good paying in this country unless you make it into the top 1 to 10%, who lost their jobs because you allowed a former president to fumble the ball on a pandemic, and you all played politics with people's lives. And now you don't want to admit or take accountability. So you're just going to keep doubling down, making people poorer. See, you all are just trying to eliminate the middle class. You want to drive people into poverty. But see, the problem with that is driving them into poverty is driving them into death. So even though you can rile them up and make them pissed off and make them take accountability off of you and off of themselves, they're going to die off. Then who's voting for you? Because there's not enough of the 1% to keep you in office, to keep lining your pockets. And without the worker bees, how are you going to sustain the economy that you need in order to continue to line your pockets? See, at least while you're trying to strip people of education, you could have at least properly educated yourself. But y'all don't even take the time to do that. And you don't realize how much your tactics aren't hurting us as gravely as they're going to hurt you. We're used to making do. We're used to, and we are accustomed to making something out of nothing. You aren't, or you've forgotten. But let's keep going.
Wow! Okay! Wow! Boy, oh boy!
This is going well so far.
Oh yeah! Too cool! Yes! Here we go!
What is this?
Oh! Oh!
Mushroom Kingdom,
Whoa.
here we come.
No! It's a here we go! Oh! Mamma mia! Okie dokie. Mario get you next time.
Can we stop just looking for big names to sell movies? This isn't the 1950s. This is not the 1950s. We want quality over a name. And this ain't it. Everybody is not a voice actor. Everybody is not a voice actor. And these are two different skill sets. And first of all, Chris Pratt is very questionable just as a... Anywho, let's go on to the next.
Last night at the debate between Herschel Walker, a man who beats his wife, and Raphael Warnock, Herschel Walker, a man who beats his wife, was confronted about his lies about being part of the police, and he pulled out a fake badge. I was streaming the debate, and everybody who was watching reacted the exact same way. We were all like, what the fuck? By the way, thank y'all for joining my live. It was my first one. I really enjoyed it. But now the internet is flooded with jokes, and there was one that really just took the cake from me. The legendary George Takei said, in fairness to Herschel Walker, a man who beats his wife, I sometimes pull out my Starfleet badge to get past security at Star Trek conferences. Oh my. That's a lot of damage. But that's the state of Georgia politics right now. Yes, we really are in the bad place. Please, for the love of God, vote for Raphael Warnock. Early voting starts on Monday.
Once again, let me remind you that the party who proclaims to be about Christianity, predominantly Protestant Christianity, because they don't seem to give a damn about Catholicism or any other branches of Christianity. We can get into why Christianity has so many branches and so many Bibles and so many translations on another day if you'd like to. But you have to question why they are so against a literal pastor who is aligned with Christian doctrine and so for a man that is so far removed from Christian doctrine that if he takes one more step away from it, he's going to be laying across Beelzebub and Trump themselves. But they also think that Trump is the chosen one and the second coming of the Lord. There are also people that believe that when the rapture appears, that's not even doctrine, but I digress, that they want those left behind to take care of their pets. Because I guess their pets are riddled with sin, so they wouldn't be raptured also. But the people that you felt weren't, you know what? I'm not going down that rabbit hole. Let's keep it moving.
Are you ready to connect some dots? This should be fun. Before Donald Trump was even in office, Michael Flynn contacted the Russian ambassadors. The transcript of that phone call has been released, but I'm going to give you a couple of highlights. He discussed with the Russian ambassadors how he can make the Middle East work with Russia to work with America. Hi, Jared Kushner. He talked about releasing sanctions on nuclear capabilities of the United States to Russia and the Middle East. He also told the Russians to reciprocate with what Obama had done. Obama had placed sanctions on Russia and expelled diplomats for their interference in our elections. He told them to reciprocate. Michael Flynn. The same Michael Flynn who was starting in July. The same Michael Flynn in July of 2020 who told Donald Trump to start the Insurrection Act, to declare martial law, and to have the military take our voting machines. Here's the receipts. More receipts. Receipts on the Middle East. The day before January 6th, Donald Trump issued an executive order that told the Defense Department to start selling nuclear capabilities to Russia. January 5th. Y'all realize it wasn't just Afghanistan, right? The failed twice impeached president who started the insurrection in July, who planned on stealing our election back in July, who was working with Michael Flynn and the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers to overthrow our election. There was literal plots of murdering government officials like Nancy Pelosi and Mike Pence. It wasn't just Afghanistan.
New reporting from Axios about former President Trump's final weeks in office, including an 11th hour push to withdraw U.S. troops from Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Germany, and the entire continent of Africa.
Fun fact, did you know that Michael Flynn's brother, Charles Flynn, delayed the National Guard response to Trump's insurrection by 3.5 hours? 3.5 hours. Michael Flynn, the one who told Donald Trump to declare martial law, declare the Insurrection Act, and seize the voting machines, which then they were going to hack and change the votes, which we saw in Georgia and Michigan when they attempted because of the Kraken lady. All of this going on while Donald Trump was stealing classified information.
During the Republican National Convention, ahead of the last presidential election, I tried to tell y'all this. Y'all told me that I needed to stretch because I was reaching. How much was I reaching? But let's go into tonight's final video. Let's go.
You guys, it's already started. It's already fucking started. The Republican media machine and the bubble that they keep their voters in, they are equating an honorary badge as an actual real badge. What? And listen to this.
Yeah. I couldn't make it out. I don't know what it was. I believe it was a police badge, but I couldn't see it from where I was.
Do you see how that works? Create plausible deniability, allow your voters to form their own opinion, conspiracy, and then have one of the leaders come out and say, oh, it was a real badge, even though it's totally not. Now you know how COVID misinformation and disinformation spread. Just like that. Easy as that. I got a badge.
See, when you don't teach actual history and you bastardize everything from religion to education to everything else, and you pretend that you're okay with free thinking, but it's actually indoctrinated thinking going rampant through your country, you Groundhog Day history repeatedly, and your citizens, your residents don't realize that's what's happening. And that is what we are going through right now. That is exactly what we're going through right now. Look at Nazi Germany. There are other examples I can get, but right now, look at Nazi Germany. And it's never been about the moral high ground. It's simply been about power. You think that they give a damn about you. It's simply about power. But we'll reconvene tomorrow to talk about the Espionage Act of 1917 and the Lusk Committee. As always, each one teach one, each one reach one. Till then, thank you for joining me.